I want to talk about a concept that I often notice, particularly among men who've been reborn and re-energized right after the red pill unplugging phase, and are then seemingly free to go their own way now and live for themselves any way they wish. But instead there's this underlying feeling of being lost. It's the trap of living in this holiday mode of freedom and then being stuck there with nowhere to go. Here's the trap I see. Life is not lived in the jailbreak moment of freedom. Real life resides where you build your home after the jailbreak. You can only stand outside the prison gates for so long, pumping your fists in victory, or giving the finger to the prison guards that abused you, playing the victim and feeling energized by the justice. But you have to turn away from hating the prison eventually and turn away from the adrenaline of momentary freedom and start writing in the journal that is your life. You have to move towards somewhere or something. It's when the introspection begins for you in the quiet moments of asking yourself, what now? Or noticing things and finding things interesting in terms of direction. That's when real freedom is rewarded. That's going in your own direction. What prompted me to make this video was I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers recently. He just made a new video after months of being absent. Now, I'm not going to name who it was because that's not the important issue. The idea I want to talk about is not the individual. It's this lost feeling of being in limbo. So anyway, this content creator came back after a long hiatus, doing whatever he was doing in the meantime. And to my surprise, he was not his usual fun, confident, going his own way self. He was questioning his direction in life now, ruminating on how old he is now and what can no longer be, the what-ifs of the past, and what going his own way means to him now, and the future, if it means anything to him at all. And look, I'm not making fun of him. He was being honest and sincere, and this is a fairly important issue for men who are charting a new path. This is important life stuff here. We're constantly facing hard truths and ourselves when forging our own paths, often without maps, almost always without maps, away from the comfortable group highway almost everyone else is on. The way I see it is a man's map, if he's decided to go in his own direction, in essence, going his own way in life, is the continual process of questioning life and reality and being conscious of it, being less and less on autopilot and making sense of it all introspectively without being neurotic about it. This becomes the unfolding path we give ourselves. This is how the path is revealed to us as we go, and it's often not a secure feeling nor comfortable. And so going back to this content creator, in his open and honest video was realizing that maybe he might actually need a family for life to make some kind of sense to him. Maybe traditionalism was his home after all. Perhaps the freedom earlier in his life, when he went his own way, was a very necessary moment at the time to simply gain some self-respect as a man and feel confident again. That may be the extent of the use of the red pill for many men, because one must realize where home for them eventually is. There is no shame in this, gentlemen. If life feels lonely and terrible for you going your own way, no matter how long you persist, and you find you're not built for the resilience required to go your own way in whichever way you wish to go, then that's important to come to terms with. If the promise of forging your own individual path has never satisfied, then who am I to judge? Maybe your home is with a woman, even with the risks today. Now, don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I want people to live meaningful lives. And I still think marriage is a very bad idea for men today, objectively speaking, considering the climate. But if the reality of going your own way is worse for you and you feel completely lost, if going on your own path is simply an idea you'd like or you want without any will or belief, and if you're not really built for it, then what can I say? You need to lean in the direction that seems right for you. Again, I'm not judging you. I'm not a man who'll sit here and shame you like some tough guys out there might, because you're not going my specific way. I just want you to live your comfortable life, like there are no strings on you and you're happier for it. I want you to be at home in your life, as I feel. I don't want you to stoically pretend that going your own way is your home when in reality it feels like a foreign place to you or an ill-fitting suit. Choosing your own path in life should be a relief. It shouldn't seem like a foreign land on the other side of the planet called MGTOWistan, where one is actually homesick for the traditionalist life you left behind. Forging your own path, while it sounds romantic and powerful and self-determined on the surface, is not a holiday, gentlemen. It's a one-way ticket to a new home, but only if it actually is a home to you. What can I say? Going your own way is not for everyone. And here's another thing to keep in mind too. Sometimes we just switch delusions. Many guys unconsciously use going their own way to escape their previous pain. That's the sole function of the red pill for them, to escape their previous pain. It's a welcome place of understanding and male empathy, something lacking from a man's previous life. Many guys just switch comfortable delusions. They replace one delusion, the caring female, for another, a MGTOW vacation with the guys online. Some men go to men's groups not for the knowledge they're in, but to hang out with your buddies after a breakup and talk shit about your ex. No, both are avoiding where home actually is for you. You have to face yourself eventually. The question now is, what makes you tick and how do you want to live from this point forward, now that you're free? Are you going to come off your holiday? What direction looks like home for you? Many feel the urge to identify with the MGTOW identity because it saved them. So because they've eschewed a previous false mask, such as husband or manager, and now they find themselves that they cannot function as anything without a mask, without a validating title or position or group. And I can understand. They've just started to heal after an awakening, but they haven't discovered who they are yet or found their feet, or which direction they'd like to go yet. So they label themselves as a man going his own way until they work themselves out. But the point is, they haven't looked in the mirror, they haven't seen that they're in the same place they were when they first were freed. And maybe that's what the previous MGTOW content creator I was speaking about did. Maybe he was now finally finding out what he wants and who he is, and what direction finally has any meaning for him. I don't know. Because look, essentially going your own way is finding out your direction in life. Just be confident you're not putting your foot in a bear trap when you take your direction in life. A foreign land is not your home, gentlemen. The mistake of trying to live on vacation, as this video is describing, is one women make especially, with their over-concern of foreign countries today and trying to hug the world while ignoring their own space, while ignoring the mirror. They break up their own marriages in some midlife crisis where they, quote-unquote,
find themselves,
and proceed to go on a holiday, a physical holiday only. Not any spiritual journey, as I'm talking about with a man where he introspects. Any wonder a woman is no more enlightened after her holiday return psychologically than she was before. It's because it takes introspection and looking in that mirror. Not looking at temples, not in cafes, not by the pool at a resort, posting hashtag namaste to your friends on your social media feed. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, though typically men understand the abstract better, so they tend to look into the unknown more, i.e. they introspect. You see, the cliched eat, pray, love bumper sticker of spiritual growth out there that's sold to most people is a distraction from yourself. You cannot simply change your physical surroundings and go to a foreign place to escape the pain of where you are now. That is, going on holiday, and then automatically feel refreshed and renewed. No, you must point the finger at yourself and refresh your perceptions, and then you'll know what feeling renewed actually is. You can't be reborn while still in your womb. Even living online here can be a vacation from real life. You need to sleep, eat, exercise, and face the world eventually. This video game must be turned off from time to time. You must attend to your body's health, and your brain is part of your body. Remember that, gentlemen. Thus, even if your virtual reality world is here in the manosphere, in video games, on Tinder, or wherever, your increased depression and vulnerability may in fact correlate to you not facing your real analog world, the world of flesh and blood. The red pill is unplugging from the lie, but don't just unplug into another safer lie, the seemingly safe digital one, where no one can touch you, where you're anonymous. And you'll feel it as the intravenous drip of safe holiday mode runs out here online, and you're left gasping for life and direction. What I, for instance, do in this virtual space here, talking to you, only illuminates and clarifies my convictions out there in the physical world. Sure, a virtual world of your making here is preferable to the mess out there sometimes, but this virtual mail space doesn't mean much unless you go out there and implement some of those truths. Otherwise, it's only a theory then. And deep down, most guys need certainty. They can't rely on just the theory. They can't rely on the fiction alone. Unless you test the theories out there to know they have merit, it doesn't mean much. Often finding a safe space, particularly online, is a beautiful vacation that people think they can live in. But I can't live here. Even over-intellectualization, as I am prone to do here sometimes, can be a trap for me. I fully recognize. It can be an intoxicating holiday for me too, where I am king of my world in video form, untouchable in digital space. But this isn't my total life. It's only part of it. Know thyself, gentlemen. And also, many guys, after spending their lives doing everything for others, romanticize going their own way towards doing absolutely nothing. This is a trap too. I mean, just because you've given all of yourself to everyone else in the past doesn't mean you give absolutely nothing to you now. If you do that, then they've won, for one, and two, you should be giving everything to yourself now that you're free. Not nothing. Staying inert forever as the clock ticks by is just your slow death. It's you staying the discarded male workhorse by your ex or by the system, just broken in the gutter. But that's not really living for yourself now, is it? It's not really going your own way anywhere, is it? Remember why you went your own way, gentlemen. Why you broke free. For your time to be yours. If you stay on a holiday too long, tomorrow becomes never. And for the gender that's designed to be a human doing, unfortunately us men, remember this also. You may have left behind an exploited doing for your boss or wife or gynocentric system, but your doing nature as a man needs to find a place to call home. And a vacation from the world is not a home. Home is not the liberating red pill moment that you wake up from at the beginning of your freedom. Home is where you go to after the red pill. That's freedom. That's home. And as the famous Dr. Alan Watts once said, the menu is not the meal. It's a profound saying that speaks volumes to me. Similarly, a promised vacation of going your own way is not somewhere one can live permanently, gentlemen. And in terms of the YouTuber I mentioned previously, questioning his assumptions regarding going his own way, well, I say good for him. We all should be honest with ourselves continually. Keep reflecting on and authoring yourself. Keep revisiting your assumptions. Don't let your beliefs become dogmas. Let your assumptions be reaffirmed as truths to you by continually testing them. Find out who you really are through the introspection and honesty, as was the case with my YouTube friend. But most of all, speak kindly to yourselves when introspecting, gentlemen. Speak to yourself like a good friend would. And I hope you start to feel where home actually resides. Go your own way, gentlemen. Later. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to keep checking my channel for new videos. And also hit the bell icon once you've subscribed to be hopefully notified of my new stuff. And feel free to donate through Patreon or PayPal. It keeps me creating more videos and I really do appreciate it. Thanks, gentlemen.